kindness to animals.
Baha'i.
Briefly, it is not only their fellow human beings that the beloved of God must treat with mercy and compassion. Rather, must they show forth the utmost loving kindness to every living creature. Writings of Abdul Baha.
Be ye the embodiments of justice and fairness amidst all creation. The Kibt-i Akdas. But to bless animals, the utmost kindness must be shown, the more the better. Tenderness and loving kindness are basic principles of God's heavenly kingdom. Ye should most carefully bear this matter in mind. Selections from the writings of Abdul Baha.
Look not upon the creatures of God, except with the eye of kindliness and of mercy. For our loving providence hath pervaded all created things, and our grace encompassed the earth and the heavens. Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah.
That seeker should show kindness to animals, how much more unto his fellow man, to him who is endowed with the power of utterance. Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah.
Buddhism.
A state that is not pleasing or delightful to me, how could I inflict that upon another? Samyutta Nikaya.
All tremble at violence, all fear death. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill, nor cause another to kill. Dhammapada.
One is not a great one because one defeats or harms other living beings. One is so called because one refrains from defeating or harming other living beings.
Hurt not others with that which pains you yourself. Udana Varga.
At the openings of ant hills, please have trustworthy men always put food and water, sugar and piles of grain. Precious Garland.
All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas essentially practice the principle of great compassion. The suffering of living beings brings forth their great compassion. From this great compassion emerges the great wisdom, and with this great wisdom they attain the ultimate enlightenment. Bodhisattvas means spiritual practitioners. Avatamsaka Sutra.
People who eat meat will fall into the horrible paths of transmigration and suffer boundless pain. People who eat meat will never succeed in getting any blessing or merit that they pray for. Meat eaters cause the celestial beings to avoid them and other sentient beings to be afraid of them. Surangama Sutra.
All the saints abhorred eating blood or flesh. Celestial beings never go near people who eat meat, as their mouth always has a foul smell. Meat is not good. Meat is unclean. Meat eating generates evils and destroys merits and blessings. All the saints denounce eating meat. Lankavatara Sutra.
I forbid all meat eating, regardless of whether the animal dies naturally or is killed. I have never allowed my disciples to eat meat, and I will not allow in the present or future. Lankavatara Sutra.
All sentient beings came from the same origin. Through myriad reincarnations, all sentient beings have been relatives of each other. How can we eat the meat of our relatives? Lankavatara Sutra.
People who eat meat are destroying the great merciful seed of their own Buddha nature, and any sentient beings seeing them would leave them. Therefore, all bodhisattvas must refrain from eating the flesh of any sentient beings, as this will incur boundless sin. Bodhisattvas mean spiritual practitioners. Brahmajala Sutra.
He who desires happiness for himself by inflicting suffering on others, he, entangled in the bonds of hatred, is not freed from hatred. Dhammapada Sutra.
Christianity and Judaism.
Do to others as you want them to do to you. Holy Bible.
Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Holy Bible.
It is contrary to human dignity to cause animals to suffer and die. Catechism of the Catholic Church.
Woe to the shepherds who only take care of themselves. Should not the shepherds take care of the flock? Holy Bible.
Thou shalt not kill. Holy Bible.
Jesus said, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Holy Bible.
Then the Lord God said, It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who is like him. So the Lord God formed out of the ground each wild animal and each bird of the sky, and brought each to the man to see what he would call it. Talmud and Holy Bible.
What is hateful to you, do not do to others. Talmud.
I will make a covenant on behalf of Israel with the wild beasts, the birds of the air, and the things that creep on the hearth, that all living creatures may lie down without living in fear. Holy Bible.
The Jewish concept of Tsar Ba'alei Chaim is the obligation not to cause pain to animals. Code of Jewish Law.
For I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice, the knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings. Holy Bible.
If you had known what that text means, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the innocent. Holy Bible.
The righteous person considers the soul or life of his or her animal. Holy Bible.
Gao Dai.
All sentient beings are created by the most compassionate, thus all are one. The most compassionate's love and care for life therefore is infinitely great. And since we're one of his creation, we're also bound to the law of creation. Therefore any created being being killed would hurt. The most compassionate, and to hurt the most compassionate, is to make heaven and earth to be in deep sorrow. Now, do you think the worldly people should dare to trespass the law of heaven?
We thereby must understand clearly that we must have mercy and love toward the weakest animals, first to avoid the karmic retribution, for heaven law never biases anybody. Although our physical eyes can't see it, no good or bad deeds, however small, goes unnoted. Another reason is, every human being born in this world is bestowed by God a higher spiritual capability than other created beings, so that we humans may take care of the weaker beings for Him. Divine Messages. Confucianism and Taoism.
Benefit living creatures and human beings. Cultivate goodness and happiness. Yin Qi Wen.
What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The Confucian Analects.
Respect the old and cherish the young. Even insects, grass, and trees you must not hurt. Confucian Taoist Treatise. Tai Shang Kan Yang Pian.
Those who want to know the truth should practice reverence for all life. This manifests as unconditional love and respect for oneself and all other beings. Hua Hu Qing.
Buy captive animals and give them freedom. The Tract of the Quiet Way.
Essene.
I am in all creatures, and all creatures are in me. In all their joys I rejoice. In all their afflictions I am afflicted. Wherefore I say unto you, be ye kind one to another, and to all the creatures of God. The Gospel of the Holy 12.
For I tell you truly, he who kills, kills himself, and who eats the flesh of slain beasts, eats of the body of death. For in his blood every drop of their blood turns to poison, in his breath their breath to stink, in his flesh their flesh to boils, in his bones their bones to chalk, in his bowels their bowels to decay, in his eyes their eyes to scales, in his ears their ears to waxy issue, and their death will become his death. The Essene Gospel of Peace.
Let these creatures therefore go free, that they may rejoice in God and bring no guilt to man. And the young man set them free, and Jesus brake their cages and their bonds. Gospel of the Holy 12.
As Jesus was going with some of his disciples, he met with a certain man who trained dogs to hunt other creatures. And he said to the man, "Why doest thou thus?" And the man said, "By this I live, and what profit is there to any in these creatures? These creatures are weak, but the dogs, they are strong." And Jesus said, "Thou lackest wisdom and love. Lo, every creature which God hath made hath its end and purpose. And who can say what good is there in it? Or what profit to thyself or mankind?" And the man marveled, and left off training the dogs to hunt, and taught them to save life, rather than destroy. And he learned of the doctrines of Jesus, and became his disciple. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism.
Those who have forsaken the killing of all, those who are helpmates to all, those who are a sanctuary to all, those men are in the way of heaven. Hitopadesa.
Ahimsa is the highest dharma. Ahimsa is the best tapas. Ahimsa is the greatest gift. Ahimsa is the highest self-control. Ahimsa is the highest sacrifice. Ahimsa is the highest power. Ahimsa is the highest friend. Ahimsa is the highest truth. Ahimsa is the highest teaching. Dharma means true teaching. Ahimsa means not violent. Tapas means penance. Mahabharata, Shanti Parva.
The mode of living which is founded upon a total harmlessness towards all creatures is the highest morality. Mahabharata, Shanti Parva.
What is the good way? It is the path that reflects on how it may avoid killing any creature. Tirukkural.
Protect both our species, two-legged and four-legged, both food and water for their needs supply. May they with us increase in stature and strength. Save us from hurt all our days, O powers. Rigveda Samhita.
May all beings look at me with a friendly eye. May I do likewise, and may we all look on each other with the eyes of a friend. Yajurveda.
Those noble souls who practice meditation and other yogic ways, who are ever careful about all beings, who protect all animals, are the ones who are actually serious about spiritual practices. Atharva Veda.
The base and ignorant man who commits acts of himsa by killing creatures under the pretext of worship of gods or performance of Vedic sacrifices goes to hell. Himsa means violence. Mahabharata, Anusasana, Parva.
He who makes all the creatures of the world fearless about him may be supposed to have performed all the yagyas and in turn becomes fearless about other creatures. Hence, there is no dharma greater than the practice of restraining oneself from causing affliction or suffering to any creature. Yagyas means worship. Dharma means true teaching. The Mahabharata.
He who injures harmless creatures from a wish to give himself pleasure never finds happiness in this life or the next. Manu Samhita.
He who does not seek to cause the sufferings of bonds and death to living creatures, but desires the good of all beings, obtains endless bliss. He who does not injure any creature attains without an effort what he thinks of, what he undertakes, and what he fixes his mind on. Manu Samhita.
He who sees that the Lord of all is ever the same in all that is, immortal in the field of mortality, he sees the truth. And when a man sees that the God in himself is the same God in all that is, he hurts not himself by hurting others. Then he goes indeed to the highest path. Bhagavad Gita.
Islam.
There is not an animal on the earth, nor a flying creature on two wings, but they are people like unto you. Quran.
Whoever is kind to all creatures of God is kind to himself. Hadith.
Treat others as you would be treated. What you like not for yourself, dispense not to others. Islamic Sufi text.
Seest thou not that it is Allah whose praise all beings in the heavens and on earth do celebrate, and the birds of the air with wings outspread? Each one knows its own mode of prayer and praise, and Allah knows well all that they do. Quran.
A good deed done to an animal is as meritorious as done to human being, while an act of cruelty to an animal is as bad as an act of cruelty to a human being. Hadith.
All creatures are like a family of God, and He loves the most those who are the most beneficent to His family. Hadith.
Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Where there is an abundance of vegetables, a host of angels will descend on that place. Hadith.
He who takes pity even on a sparrow and spares its life, Allah will be merciful on him on the day of judgment. Hadith.
Their flesh and their blood reach not Allah, but the devotion from you reacheth Him. Thus have we made them subject unto you, that ye may magnify Allah, that He hath guided you. And give good tidings, O Muhammad, to the good. Quran.
Jainism.
Therefore, neither does he, a sage, cause violence to others, nor does he make others do so. Acharanga Sutra.
A man should wander about treating all creatures as he himself would be treated. Sutra Kritanga.
Those whose minds are at peace, and who are free from passions, do not desire to live at the expense of others. Acharanga Sutra.
One should not injure, subjugate, enslave, torture, or kill any animal, living being, organism, or sentient being. This doctrine of non-violence is immaculate, immutable, and eternal. Just as suffering is painful to you, in the same way it is painful, disquieting, and terrifying to all animals, living beings, organisms, and sentient beings. Acharanga Sutra.
Have benevolence towards all living things. Tattvartha Sutra.
Non-injury to living beings is the highest religion. Ahimsa Paramo Dharma.
This is the quintessence of wisdom, not to kill anything. All breathing, existing, living, sentient creatures should not be slain, nor treated with violence, nor abused, nor tormented, nor driven away. This is the pure, unchangeable law. Therefore, cease to injure living things. Sutra Kritanga.
Killing animals he thinks good sport and derives mirth from it. Away with that fool's company. He increases his own unrighteousness. Holy Akaranga Sutra.
The Arhats and Bhagavats of the past, present, and future all say thus, speak thus, declare thus, explain thus. All breathing, existing, living, sentient creatures should not be slain, nor treated with violence, nor abused, nor tormented, nor driven away. Arhats means highly enlightened saints. Bhagavats means supreme beings. Holy Akaranga Sutra.
Knowing and renouncing severally and singly the actions against living beings in the regions above, below, and on the surface, everywhere and in all ways, a wise man neither gives pain to these bodies, nor orders others to do so, nor assents to their doing so. Nay, we abhor those who give pain to these bodies. Knowing this, a wise man should not cause this or any other pain to any creatures. Thus I say, Holy Akaranga Sutra.
Some slay animals for sacrificial purposes. Some kill animals for the sake of their skin. Some kill them for the sake of their flesh. Some kill them for the sake of their blood, thus for the sake of their heart, their bile, the feathers of their tail, their big or small horns, their teeth, their tusks, their nails, their sinews, their bones, with purpose or without a purpose. Some kill animals because they have been wounded by them, or are wounded, or will be wounded. He who injures these animals does not comprehend and renounce the sinful acts. He who does not injure these comprehends and renounces the sinful acts. Knowing them, a wise man should not act sinfully towards animals, nor cause others to act so, nor allow others to act so. He who knows these causes of sin relating to animals is called a reward-knowing sage. Holy Akarange Sutra.
Religious Society of Friends, Quakers.
Let the law of kindness show no limits. Show a loving consideration for all God's creatures. General advices.
Sikhism.
The highest religion is to rise to universal brotherhood and to consider all creatures your equals. Guru Granth Sahib.
You say that the one Lord is in all. So why do you kill chickens? Guru Granth Sahib.
Kabir says, to use force is tyranny, even if you call it a religious sacrifice. When your account is called for in the kingdom of God, what will your condition be then? Guru Granth Sahib.
Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
You kill living beings and worship lifeless things. At your very last moment you will suffer terrible pain. Guru Granth Sahib. Falsehood is my dagger, and to eat by defrauding is meat. Guru Granth Sahib.
The Lord has given me this one understanding. All creatures, all living things belong to one Creator. May I never forget this, O Lord. Guru Granth Sahib.
Just as clothes stained with blood become impure, one cannot have pure consciousness when one consumes blood and flesh of other beings. Guru Granth Sahib.
Be kind to all beings. This is more meritorious than visiting and bathing at the 68 pilgrimage sites and the giving of charity. Guru Granth Sahib.
Violence or cruelty has not left your mind. You have not cherished kindness for other living beings. Guru Granth Sahib.
Loyalty.
Baha'i Faith.
In every country where any of this people reside, they must behave towards the government of that country with loyalty, honesty, and truthfulness. This is that which hath been revealed at the behest of him who is the ordainer, the Ancient of Days. Tablets of Baha'u'llah revealed after the Kitab-i-Aqdas.
God hath prescribed unto this people the duty of aiding whosoever will aid them, of serving his best interests, and of demonstrating to him their abiding loyalty. Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah.
As God manifests loyalty and mercy, why should we show forth enmity and hatred? Surely the divine policy is more perfect than human plan and theory. For no matter how wise and sagacious man may become, he can never attain a policy that is superior to the policy of God, the promulgation of universal peace.